Picture a life where your peace of mind doesn't depend on who texts you back, who thinks about you, or who chooses to stay. A life where your emotional balance isn't controlled by attention, affection, or silence from other people. That kind of freedom may sound rare, but it's more possible than most people realize. This is where Stoicism enters the conversation. An ancient philosophy, yes, but one that still speaks directly to modern relationships and emotional struggles. At its core, Stoicism teaches us how to remain grounded no matter what's happening around us. It reminds us that lasting happiness is built internally, not borrowed from someone else's feelings. And when it comes to love, this changes everything. Many people spend their time trying to be remembered, desired, or chased. They look for signs that someone misses them because they believe it gives them value. But the Stoic mindset takes a completely different approach. Instead of chasing validation, it encourages self-respect, emotional discipline, and a deeper connection with the present moment. Ironically, the moment you stop needing constant reassurance is often the moment people begin to feel your absence the most. In today's video, we're exploring the Stoic approach to relationships and attraction, not through manipulation, not through mind games, but through becoming someone who is emotionally strong, self-contained, and genuinely fulfilled with their own life. Because there's something powerful about a person who no longer depends on others to feel complete. And before we continue, if this message resonates with you, take a second to subscribe. Your support truly helps this channel grow, and every video is created with the intention of helping you build a calmer, stronger, and more meaningful life. Stay with me until the end, because each part connects to the next in a way that can completely shift how you see yourself in your relationships. Number 1. Focus on becoming better, not being validated. One of the biggest traps people fall into is tying their worth to how others respond to them. We naturally want approval. We want to feel chosen, appreciated, and important, especially by someone we care about. But the problem begins when our self-worth starts depending on those reactions. Stoicism teaches us to redirect our attention toward what we can actually control: our mindset, our actions, our character, and the way we respond to life. Other people's emotions, opinions, and behavior are never fully in our hands. That realization is not depressing, it's liberating. Because once you stop trying to control how others feel about you, you finally regain control over yourself. This doesn't mean becoming cold or pretending not to care. It simply means understanding that your value doesn't rise or fall based on someone else's attention. Real confidence is built internally. It grows quietly through discipline, self-awareness, and purpose. Think about how exhausting it is to constantly wonder if someone misses you, notices you, or thinks about you enough. The more your happiness depends on those answers, the more emotional power you hand over to them, and people can feel that dependence. But when someone sees that you are focused on your own growth, your own peace, and your own direction in life, something changes. Your energy becomes different, more grounded, more attractive, more rare. A person who enjoys their own company carries a kind of calm that cannot be faked. And strangely enough, that's often what makes others start thinking about you long after you're gone. If this message resonated with you, make sure to share this video so more people can benefit from it. Comment yes below if you're choosing peace, growth, and self-mastery in your life. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support truly helps us continue creating meaningful content like this. You can also support the channel through super thanks. Stoicism gives us a way to step away from that emotional chaos and regain our balance. By developing qualities like wisdom, discipline, courage, and self-control, we slowly build a stronger inner foundation, one that doesn't collapse every time someone pulls away or changes their behavior. The goal isn't to become emotionally distant. Stoicism was never about shutting people out. It's about becoming emotionally steady. There's a difference between feeling emotions and being controlled by them. The Stoic mindset encourages healthy relationships built on respect, understanding, and genuine connection, rather than attachment and emotional dependence. And interestingly, when you stop needing people to constantly reassure you, your presence begins to feel more valuable. People are naturally drawn to those who are deeply connected to their own path. Someone who is focused, fulfilled, and comfortable within themselves carries a quiet kind of confidence that stands out without trying. That's why the less desperate you are to be missed, the more unforgettable you often become. So instead of spending your energy chasing validation, invest it into yourself. Learn something meaningful. Build your mind. Explore new passions. Spend time understanding your values and becoming the kind of person you're proud to live with every day. Because self-improvement changes more than your life. It changes your energy. And over time, others begin to notice that difference. Remember, Stoicism doesn't tell us to reject love or deny human connection. It simply reminds us that our peace should never depend entirely on another person's attention. When your happiness is rooted within you, relationships become healthier, calmer, and far more genuine. So embrace the Stoic path. Continue growing. Continue building yourself. Because real fulfillment begins the moment you stop searching for your worth in other people. Independence and emotional strength. One of the most powerful ideas within Stoicism is this: while we can't always control what happens around us, we can control how we respond to it. And that realization changes everything. It means your emotional state doesn't have to be controlled by circumstances, rejection, silence, or the actions of another person. There is a freedom in understanding that your reactions belong to you. Stoic emotional resilience is not about becoming numb or pretending nothing affects you. It's about recognizing your emotions without allowing them to take over your life. You feel them, you understand them, but you don't become enslaved by them. The Stoics constantly reminded themselves to focus their energy on what was truly within their control and release their grip on what wasn't. That mindset creates a deep sense of inner stability, because once you stop allowing outside events to determine your peace, you begin to develop a kind of independence that very few people possess. And this independence doesn't push people away. In fact, it often strengthens your relationships because you're no longer interacting from fear, insecurity, or emotional desperation. You begin showing up with clarity instead of neediness. Think about relationships for a moment. Stoicism teaches that we can deeply care for someone without making them responsible for our happiness. We can love without losing ourselves in the process. That's real emotional strength. When your entire emotional world depends on another person's attention, every small change feels threatening. But when you've built peace within yourself, you stop reacting to every silence, every delay, every shift in energy. You remain grounded. And there's something incredibly powerful about a person who stays calm without becoming cold, who remains strong without needing constant reassurance from others, attention or approval. Instead, it encourages us to create relationships rooted in honesty, mutual respect, and emotional balance, not fear, attachment, or the need to avoid being alone. When we develop emotional resilience, we gain the ability to love deeply without losing our sense of self in the process. We become capable of caring for others while still remaining grounded within ourselves. Stoicism also reminds us that life is constantly changing. Nothing remains the same forever. People change, circumstances change, emotions rise and fall. And rather than resisting this reality, the Stoic learns to move with it. That adaptability is not weakness, it's strength. True resilience comes from staying connected to your values even during uncertainty. It comes from responding to life consciously instead of emotionally reacting to everything around you. So how do we actually build this kind of inner independence? It begins with self-awareness, paying attention to your thoughts, observing your emotional patterns, reflecting honestly on how you respond to disappointment, rejection, or uncertainty. Stoicism asks us to slow down and examine ourselves before blaming the outside world. It also means practicing gratitude for what already exists in your life, staying present instead of obsessing over what could happen, and investing your energy into things that genuinely align with your values. And perhaps most importantly, it requires questioning the stories we tell ourselves. Are your emotional reactions based on reality, or are they being shaped by old fears, insecurities, or past experiences that no longer serve you? The more aware you become of your inner world, the less power external chaos has over you. In many ways, Stoicism teaches us to stop searching for emotional rescue in other people. Instead of depending on someone else to guide us through darkness, we learn to become steady within ourselves. We become our own source of direction, and this path toward emotional resilience doesn't make life empty or lonely. In fact, it deepens our appreciation for genuine connection. As we apply these principles, we begin to notice something remarkable. Our relationships become healthier, our minds become calmer, and our ability to handle hardship grows stronger over time, creating a life that truly matters. The Stoic philosophers Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus often spoke about living in harmony with your true nature and with the natural order of life itself. In simple terms, they believed that a meaningful life comes from understanding what truly matters and committing yourself to it fully. For the Stoics, meaning was never found in fame, status, wealth, or constant praise from others. Those things are temporary, they come and go. Real fulfillment comes from character. It comes from developing wisdom, integrity, discipline, and living in a way that positively impacts the people around you. It comes from becoming someone whose life reflects their values, even when nobody's watching. Creating a meaningful life requires honesty with yourself. It asks difficult questions. Who are you beneath the expectations of society? What do you truly stand for? What kind of person are you becoming through your daily choices? Stoicism encourages this level of reflection because without it, we easily drift into living for appearances instead of purpose. Many people spend years chasing approval without ever asking themselves whether the life they're building actually feels meaningful, and that emptiness eventually catches up to them. The Stoics constantly examined not only what they were doing, but why they were doing it. Were their actions guided by virtue and purpose, or were they secretly driven by the need to impress others and feel validated? That distinction matters more than most people realize. Stoicism also teaches us that external circumstances are unstable by nature. Success can disappear, people can leave, recognition fades, but your mindset, your values, and your responses remain within your control. And there's freedom in understanding that. Because once you stop trying to control everything outside of you, you can finally focus your energy on building something solid within you. A life shaped by purpose, a mind shaped by discipline, and a character strong enough to remain steady no matter what changes around you. In the end, a meaningful life is not measured only by accomplishments or recognition. It's measured by the way we choose to live each day and the mindset we carry through both success and hardship. Stoicism teaches us that pain, setbacks, and disappointment are unavoidable parts of life. No one escapes them. But instead of viewing these moments as proof that life is unfair, the Stoic sees them as opportunities to grow stronger, wiser, and more aware of what truly matters. Suffering, when faced correctly, can deepen us, not because we enjoy hardship, but because overcoming it changes our perspective. It teaches patience, it builds resilience, and often it softens us in ways comfort never could. Some of the strongest people are not those who avoided pain, but those who learned how to carry it with dignity. In everyday life, meaning is rarely found only in huge achievements or dramatic moments. More often, it's built quietly through small actions, repeated consistently over time. It's in the way you treat people when there's nothing to gain. It's in the honesty you bring to your work. It's in the discipline to stay true to your values even when nobody's watching. Meaning also exists in the quieter moments we often overlook. Taking time to reflect, appreciating nature, caring for your mind and body, and being fully present with the people you love. These simple acts may seem small on their own, but together they shape the foundation of a life that feels real, grounded, and deeply fulfilling. That is the Stoic way. And it's important to remember that this journey is not meant to be walked entirely alone. We grow through shared experiences, through wisdom passed from one person to another, and through the support we offer each other during difficult seasons of life. By applying Stoic principles consistently, we don't just prepare ourselves to survive challenges. We learn how to remain steady within them. We begin to discover purpose even in uncertain moments and peace even during change. Letting go of the need to control everything. The Stoics understood something that many people spend their entire lives fighting against. Much of our anxiety comes from trying to control things that were never fully ours to control. We try to control outcomes. We try to control how people feel about us. We try to control timing, circumstances, and situations that exist far beyond our reach. And when reality refuses to obey our expectations, frustration takes over. But Stoicism teaches that this struggle is unnecessary. The point is not to give up on life or become passive. It's to stop exhausting yourself trying to dominate what cannot be guaranteed. Instead, the Stoic shifts attention inward, toward the only place where true control actually exists: your thoughts, your choices, your responses. That is where your real power lives. When you focus on strengthening your inner world, you begin developing qualities that external chaos cannot easily shake: patience, emotional balance, clarity, and resilience. And through that process, peace slowly replaces constant tension. Letting go of control also means accepting the natural flow of life, understanding that while effort belongs to us, outcomes often do not. We can act with intention, discipline, and integrity, but we cannot force life to unfold exactly as we want it to. There's wisdom in accepting that distinction, because once you stop obsessing over outcomes, you become more present in the process itself. You learn to give your best without attaching your entire emotional state to the result, and that changes the way you move through life. You become calmer, more adaptable, less afraid of uncertainty, not because life suddenly becomes easier, but because you stop fighting against realities you were never meant to fully control in the first place.